Hey, what's up, guys? Aarava here, and welcome to your instant race reaction for the 2019 Spanish Grand Prix. And, well, it was not anywhere near a classic, and in a time where people have been asking about the Spanish GP being axed, it wasn't exactly a great advertisement and advocate for keeping the Spanish GP on the calendar, because Tom, well, is there anything really interesting to say about that race, in honesty, apart from maybe Ferrari just showing themselves up as utter clowns?
No, it's just that really, isn't it? It's just Ferrari again. What are they doing? I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. I'm really just starting to question. I mentioned it kind of on the slide in the preview. I think it was the preview. I'm not sure, but it was recently, and I mentioned on the slide. I just said why did they get rid of Aruba Ben exactly? Just remind me real quick.
Yeah, no.
What went wrong?
At one point, Binotto, I'm pretty sure pre-season, something like that, I just read a quote on Twitter that Binotto said that he was not happy about how they handled Germany last year, where they didn't swap Kimi and Vettel fast enough, and that inadvertently maybe pressurized Vettel later on in the race and made him crash. And now you come to Spain, and literally like 3 times with the team swaps, were they using like an old big chunky computer and wind signals
dial
to
up internet.
Yeah, dial up internet, McDonald's internet, whatever you want to say, all the superlatives for how they got the team messages across, because it took all 3 times way too long, like a lap, 3 laps even in the first instance, to swap the cars around. I just don't get it. I just don't.
I'm with you. I'm so lost. Listen. All I'm going to say is this, okay? This was not a good advertisement for Spain to stamp the calendar, but let's not kid ourselves. I don't think Zandvoort will provide much better racing.
No.
This is just purely a situation where again, back to square one. The regs changed this year, but they can only do so much. The cars ultimately still cannot follow. It's very simple. And I also think the cars are too fast now, so there's less chances to overtake. We saw some good moves. There was a few good ones. I think the move of the race for me is probably Vettel's on Gasly into the turn 10. Because it's not really one we saw too often in the race.
Right, yeah. I also really enjoyed Kvyat's one, where Crofty, that was probably the best moment of the race, really, to be fair, is when Crofty messed up the commentary. And Brundle went along with it, because Crofty was sounding so confident about it. He called Kvyat Albon for a good minute, and he was so confident doing it, that Brundle was like, that's Albon, yeah. And then they were like, oh, hang on. Literally, it was when they went down the back straight, and the name tag pops up of Kvyat, and Crofty's just like that, it's Kvyat, it's Kvyat, yeah. And then they just try to brush it under the rug. I can't wait for when they get to the F1 race highlights, the official ones, how they're gonna orchestrate that. They're gonna have to cut commentary from when they watch the replay probably and splice it over the live stuff, because they can't have on the highlights Crofty having that much of a big blunder. But
yeah, they'll just
that was a sweet move by Kvyat. It was a shame that Toro Rosso really messed up the pit stops. That was also on the safety car.
Bad.
Really, really bad one. Kvyat did recover a little bit, but it would have been a lot better had they not had the safety car for Toro Rosso's sake. But let's talk about Merc then. It's now 5 1-2s in a row. I just said it on Twitter literally now, but for me, 2014 was better than this season so far, and I can't believe I'm saying that, because the hype levels for all of us, everyone, the driver changes alone were going to make this season, should have made this season so much more exciting. And then we've got this crap.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy though in this race. I said in the podcast, I'm done. The expectation is I literally put it on the floor and I stamped on it. I was like, it's staying there. It's staying on the floor.
Fully.
And I got the race I expected. Mercedes were just dominant. And let's not kid ourselves here, and let's not feed the narrative. There was a great tweet that came out yesterday comparing lap times. Vettel's lap yesterday in qualifying compared to the fast lap in preseason. It was exactly the same, a 1:16.2.
Yeah.
Which tells you, very simply, that Ferrari are exactly the same as preseason testing, which is fine. They haven't gone forward, but they haven't gone backwards. But Mercedes have just rocked up, and in other words, they just fooled us the entire time. It's very, very simple. So I'm not a fan of, as much as I'm upset with Ferrari, disappointed with Ferrari, I'm not feeding the narrative of them being, where's their pace gone? No, it's just Mercedes have turned up. It's very simple. Red Bull as well, to give them credit, for Verstappen especially. And, just the way it is. Ferrari just don't have downfalls. For some reason, their car drives very good. It looks very good, but for some reason, it's not fast.
Yeah, I mean, in a straight line, that car is actually pretty good. You can see on the comparison, Bottas to Vettel, that F1 uploaded. The Ferrari's actually now the quickest car in a straight line, which is not something we've been saying for the entire V6 era. But now, they've just lost. I don't know. It's almost like they paid too much attention to the engine development and forgot about trying to tweak the downforce. And Mercedes obviously have cracked on. Even Merc, they brought some updates to their mirrors, and they took them off after Friday because they weren't completely 100% sure. So we already know that Merc will have another tiny upgrade to come next race straight away with the wing mirrors alone, if they get that right back at the factory then. And it just seems like Ferrari just don't have enough in the pipeline as it is. Because they were banking on, before we came to Spain, that was the big headline, that Ferrari are going to update their engine, and that's going to be the upgrade that maybe sees them catch up a little bit. But no, they just need more downforce, and they just don't have it. And then it doesn't help when they are literally acting like clowns in the race with the strategy.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, it was shocking. It was shocking. And then Red Bull have got in the mix, basically. Like, we didn't think Red Bull were going to be in the mix. We thought, okay, Red Bull going to have another, 2015, 2017 season where they're kind of just in no man's land. But now Ferrari are clowning themselves so badly that Red Bull are right there with them. And they're probably just laughing a little bit because obviously Red Bull, I think, have already accepted they can't challenge Merc. But at least they can take some solace in attacking Ferrari. I'm sure they'll be happy about that. So...
Yeah, I mean, it is that. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still quite away from Mercedes.
Yeah, of course.
Which is who they're ultimately looking at. I mean,
exactly.
Verstappen's certainly looking at Mercedes. But in terms of Ferrari, obviously they're mixing up with those guys. But it's just a shame. It really is. I put that tweet up earlier on. There's so much promise about the season, and then we've just been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, absolutely, just swerved. But it's just a shame. I think ultimately I'm disappointed in Ferrari this race because as rubbish as they've been to not use an expletive, this race summed it up because it took them too many laps to realise Leclerc had to pass Vettel. It took them too many laps to pit Vettel when he was asking to change tyres, and it took them too many laps to have Vettel. Well, Vettel should have passed Leclerc when Leclerc was on the hards.
Well, Vettel said on the radio,
messed it up completely.
Pit me, put me in traffic, anything will be better than these tyres. And yet they still didn't pit him. Like, if your driver is telling you, pit me into traffic, it'll be better, then just do it. I mean, he's the one driving the car.
It felt like, Germany, the infamous Alonso undercut. It felt like they were somehow hoping to clear the midfield so that he could have a free pit stop or something, or I don't know. It was really, really strange what gap they were trying to look for.
Yeah, it definitely was a throwback to that Hockenheim race where Vettel literally pointed out to them on the radio, like, who are we trying to undercut here? Like, what are you actually doing? Like, I'll be surprised if we don't see any team radio at some point later on in the second half of the race, maybe where Vettel or Leclerc are kind of questioning what the team are doing, because I'll be surprised because both those guys just were out there like headless chickens because their team just couldn't run their race very well. Just very, very odd. But anyway, outside the kind of top three teams, Magnussen P7, Sainz P8, Kvyat P9, Grosjean P10. The Haas guys came together nearly at the safety car restart, and that really hampered Grosjean. So I think there'll be some stern words maybe for that fight. And basically all the memes were coming out about Gunther Steiner saying an expletive word over and over again from the Netflix documentary when they got very, very close. Their safety car...
Steiner hammer.
The safety car came out because of Norris and what was it? Norris and Stroll.
Stroll.
Bit of a racing incident, in my opinion, I think, because Stroll could have given him more room, but also Norris maybe could have backed out when he realised there was no room.
It was interesting. I'm just saying, putting it out there, and I've always had a different opinion to everybody else, but it reminded me of Valencia 2012, Maldonado and Hamilton.
Right.
And everyone's very quick to blame Maldonado in that one. And the way it happened, going around the outside and kind of alongside, it reminded me of the exact same incident. Yet this one was a racing incident. I don't know where I stand, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, I thought it was quite interesting.
I mean, it just, to be honest, where I stand is it just gave the people who were still watching the race, because I turned off to watch the football, the first half of the last day of the Premier League. It gave the people who were still watching the race some excitement, basically. I saw it on my Twitter timeline, safety car, went back to the F1 stream to just check out what happened. And then as soon as the safety car came in, one lap of excitement, not even that, half a lap of excitement, and then back to the football, because, the Spanish GP, obviously I had the F1 in the background in my peripheral vision, but apart from that,
I think in this race we've got to say, I think Haas back to preseason pace for one race only. Big asterisk.
Yeah, big asterisk. Because everyone in the paddock was surprised. All the midfield teams were so shocked about them. I want to quickly talk about Renault as well. Because Haas went up a stature. Renault just continued to stay where they are and go down. And again, I bring out that quote that Renault said this was meant to be the season where they're finishing their house build off. And it's basically a shed. They've made a shed. Hulkenberg was out in Q1. Yeah, Ricciardo improved to Q3, but that was more because of the track evolution, I think. More because everyone was improving so much so. And people just got caught out. And in the end of it, they finished P12, P13. It's just very meh for what should have been their next step.
They were putting the roof on, but they just made the foundations out of paper, it's just fallen down. It's not there. Don't be wrong. It was a funny weekend because the contrast in pace between Hulkenberg in Q1 and then Ricciardo actually getting through to Q3, and Ricciardo saying he could have got P9 had he not messed up the lap. It was quite interesting how, like, in one session, it just completely yo-yoed like that.
Very weird.
Ricciardo almost got knocked out in Q1. You know, had Hulkenberg not had a front wing issue, he probably would have knocked his own teammate out. So, Renault, very weird. McLaren as well, they seemed really good until Saturday. They kind of disappeared. But I still think they got a decent package there. I'm still kind of in the... I think... nowhere near as bad as last year. I think they'll have their good races like Austria. I think Silverstone could be a good one for them as well. Those tracks kind of suit their car a bit more. I'm looking forward to Monaco though, because that's going to be very interesting. You know, if anyone even thinks Ferrari is going to get anywhere near a top 4 in Monaco, mate, you're watching something else. I've already accepted it's Mercedes 1-2 in Monaco, Red Bull 3-4. Even Gasly's going to beat the Ferraris, and Ferrari are going to struggle to make 5-6 with Haas breathing down their neck.
Yeah, well, I think that statement's a very good statement to end off, to be honest, of how the feelings are after that Grand Prix. So, guys, let us know what you thought about that race in the comments below. That's been our instant race reaction to the Spanish GP. If you did enjoy the video, at least, then be sure to hit that like button. Let us know what you thought. Like I said, if you are new around here, to get subscribed, and we'll have a full in-depth podcast coming later on in the week. So get tuned for that as well on the channel. But we'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.